So this deck profile here is going to be my my wife's Odd Eyes OTK deck, and this deck is absolutely brutal. This is the first deck I made for my wife. It was originally a Performance Pals deck, but kind of became more Odd Eyes focused. But anyways, this deck, I mean, I don't know if I would call it meta, but I definitely, like, this is how I know if my decks are ready to go against metas, if they can beat this deck right here. So without further ado, here's the fabled Odd Eyes OTK deck. Okay. Now, just to let you know, this build, I kind of like told my wife what I thought she should run, and then she picked out cards for this. So this is kind of a duel of both what me and my wife wanted for this deck, but it's mostly, you know, what she wants, of course. Run 3 Odd Eyes Unicorns, 1 Change Giraffe, 1 Handstand Raccoon, 1 Archphenocentric, 2 Salutigers, Skullcrabat, Pendulum Sorcerer, 3 Silver Claws, 1 Gum Gum Mutton, 1 Cell Shell Crab, 1 Daggerman, 1 Sleight Hand, 3 of the big beautiful Pendulum Dragon, and 2 Laugh Makers. Now for the spells, you run Supply Squad, Dark Hole, Spell Shattering Arrow, Mystical Space Typhoon, then 3 Bubble Barriers, 3 Performance Hurricanes, 3 of the Phantom Runs, a Sky Iris, 3 Perform Apple Call, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. I'm gonna do the side deck next. I don't normally build side decks, but because my wife was kind of having a hard time of deciding what to put in this deck, we built her a side deck, and she's just kind of always had it, so she could switch out and change up however she wanted to play, and as she was learning the deck. We got 1 Life Swordsman, 2 Guitardles, 1 of the Handstand Raccoons, Camelump, 2 Lizdra, the Salutiger, Part Naga, 3 Recastings, Sky Iris, Pinch Helper, and Vanity's Emptiness. Now on to the extra deck, which is kind of the focus for this deck. I mean, I don't know, I don't want to say the focus because, like I said, it's an OTK deck, not because of the extra deck, honestly. So, okay, we got 1 Gagaga, 2 Dark Rebellions, 1 Castel, 1 Knight Peplo Operative, a Dark Requiem, Red Eyes Flare, Big Eye, Absolute Dragon, Raging Dragon, Odd Eyes Rebellion, 2 Cypher Dragons, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragons, 1 Armor Photon, and then 1 Dark Matter. That is all for the extra deck. I hope you enjoyed that deck profile. I know my wife absolutely loves this deck. And stay tuned if you wanna catch my competitive build for this. Alright, so now we move on to the competitive build for this deck. And like just as a heads up to people, this deck it plays the smart game. Like, if you're one of those people that likes just, you know, just getting out monsters and being done with the turn, then you're probably not going to like this deck, or like this deck in particular, because you really got to think through your moves and think about your plays, because a lot of times you're going to be destroying your own cards to get out bigger, better things, especially whenever it comes to these XYZs. Alright, so for this I'm running the 3 Pendulum Dragons, of course, pretty much the boss monster of the deck, and then 2 of the Phantom Odd Eyes Dragon. Also, I should warn that Phantom Odd Eyes and the Pendulum Mucho are not out yet. I think this card might actually be out already in America. I'm not sure. It comes out in the with the V-Jump. But yeah, I'm running a set of 5 of these guys. So you have all of them to go into our level 7s. Mostly we're going to go into these guys right here. These guys come later. Then we got Daggerman, Gum Mutton, 2 of the Silver Claws, 1 Skullgr Bats, 2 of the Pendulum Wizards, 1 Archfiend Cindric, 3 Unicorns, 1 Chained Giraffe, and then 2 of the Pendulum Muchos, an XYZ Shift, Regeki, 2 Astral Forms, 2 Hurricanes, 2 with the Phantom Knights, Mystical Space, Spell Shattering, 2 Sky Iris, 2 Perform Apple Calls, 2 XYZ Reborns, 1 Bottomless, 3 Pendulum Reborns, and a Solemn Warning. Let me just state that, I love this card right here, Pendulum Reborn. Super good card. Also for our XYZs, we run Embodiment of Crime, Gaga, Castell, 2 Rebellions, 2 Requiems, 1 Big Eye, 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal, 2 Absolutes, 2 Raging, and 2 Rebellion. Okay, so to kind of go over, combos within this deck, like I mentioned, a lot of these cards you kind of destroy to get better stuff out. What you really want in your Pendulum skills is Odd Eyes Unicorn and the Wizard, because he gives all your your Perform Apple monsters. Sorry, he gives your Perform Apple monsters a 1,000 bonus, 1,000 attack bonus, and then what your Odd Eyes Unicorn does is whenever you attack with this guy right here, you can activate this effect to add on any Perform Apple's attack onto his attack, and whenever he does damage to your opponent, it's ×2. So this is where really the OTK comes in, is you Hurricane, which allows you to put cards back in your opponent's hand for every Perform Apple you have on the field. So you fill up your field with Perform Apples, play Hurricane, have this guy out on the field, and you win. Most of the time, you're gonna win. Change Giraffe is really a nifty card. It acts as kind of a Crumble Logos on the field. So if you can manage to get into your Pendulum Muchos, and you don't have a Pony out, then go for this card right here, and you can help get over boss monsters. The traps, other than Warning, Bottomless, and Pendulum Call, are to run your graveyard right back onto the field and run over your opponents for the most part. The Pendulum Call here, a lot of the times you just let your opponent attack you, so you can't negate it right there, and then immediately set up your pendulums. Generally, you're getting hit with more than the 1,400 that'll require, and it obviously cancels it. We run quite a few level 1s in here, so you get that Crime, Embodiment of Crime card. Gaga probably never going to go to in this deck. He's really just in there if you specifically need that chip out. Castells to kind of get over bigger boss monsters if you're unable to with other cards, like if it can't be destroyed specifically, which you also have this card for. Then we got the 2 Dark Rebellions, because he's kind of what we want to start off with, and then we want to use the rank up to go into Requiem, because this is our big beautiful boss monster right here. His effects are pretty ridiculous. We have a big eye for the still, even though, I mean, you're probably not going to want to still, but I mean, maybe there's a time whenever you want to still. We got the Red Eyes Flare in here just because he's easy to make, and maybe you need that chip out and you're not going to make it with Gaga Cowboy. You can go for him for the chip out instead. But the big monster we want to go for is this Odd Eyes Absolution monster right here. He's 2800, so he's not as powerful as Requiem, but that's not the point. The point is that you get him out on the field to die, and then whenever he dies, you know, these cards will come out. And then once these cards come out, as soon as, you know, if your opponent can attack over these 3,000 monsters, they go face up in your extra deck, and you just continue to pendulum summon them back out every single time. Now, obviously, the better play with these cards is to get them out with XYZs on top of them. So, whenever we go into this Dark Requiem Dragon, that's why we have our rank up Astral Force. So we have lots of XYZ power on him. So these cards can continue to use their big bad effects for much longer. And then also another reason we're running these two XYZ Reborns is so we can get this guy back out and use that effect to pop these guys out again. So we can get, you know, all four of them out on the field. And so yeah, that's the deck build. Like I said, there's just kind of a lot you really have to do. You gotta think about the smart move, like I said. So, but this is a fun deck. It's a nice little run over deck, and like these cards, their effects, if you can get them out right, are just you know, absolutely brutal and beautiful. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make the YouTubes go around. And, you know, most importantly, don't forget to take care of yourselves.